Welcome back to another episode of me pretending to know what I'm talking about. You believe me, don't you? Hey everyone, welcome back. I am TheOneEyedCrow, and today we're here to talk about the news updates for May 15th to May 21st. But before we get into that, I would like to remind everybody that we're only 38 subscribers away from 500, and when we get to 500, I will start another giveaway for a Nightfall spellbook. And if we can hit 500 by the end of May, I'm going to sweeten that pot a little bit. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but I can tell you that it will be worth it. So if you're not subscribed yet and you're here, help us get to that goal, help us sweeten that pot. So the first update for the week was on May 15th, where we got a look at the fan art contest details. And I already did a video on this, so I don't want to get too far into the details on this, but submissions need to be in by June 1st. You'll need to fill out a form, which I'll put a link for in the description below, and you have the choice of 10 beasties or 10 auras. And the beasties that you can do are the Bunyip, Owlman, Mongolian Deathworm, Baron Samadhi, Snoffus, Caledonian Boar, Colorabetch, Paciencia Abductor, Flashlight Frog, and Sharoof. Now, I did a video earlier in the week to outline the details of the fan art contest, as well as gave a quick rundown of what each of those beasties are and where they're from. So if you'd like to get more information on the fan art contest and those beasties, stay to the end of the video and I will link the video in the credits. And don't forget that if you do plan to enter the fan art contest, you will need a bookmark promo from the previous fan art contest to enter. Also on the 15th, they announced that the Caster's Cup registration had closed. The initial wave had completely filled up what they were allotting for the initial round of the Caster Cup registration. Now, they did say that they were leaving extra room open for qualifying events at Dallas before the Collecticon, so it's not completely filled up. And they also need to go through the applications to make sure that everybody that was eligible to register is registered. So what they're really trying to weed out here in this initial round is people that didn't qualify for an event yet. And this has come in a couple different formats. It's come in people that have been banned from the Discord, which they don't want participating in MetaZoo events. And then one of the other things that was mentioned in the chat is that there's people that registered for events and then never showed up, but the event still counted them as qualified. So they're going through and they're trying to figure out who actually signed up for an event but never showed up. The second round of registration should open up today, so if you're qualified and you didn't get in on that initial round, be ready for that. I do think that's going to fill up fast. I did another video on this recently, and I'll put that in the credits as well. But I don't think people expected registrations to close so quickly, so I imagine that there's people out there who have qualified that didn't get in that initial run, and if that's you, be ready. On May 16th, we got a look at the raw foil card for the UFO set, so we can actually see what those holo patterns are going to look like. And we can see meteors, we can see stars, we can see some galactic swirls in there. And there's a couple interesting things. So this was already teased a few weeks back when they did the UFO image with this pattern on it. And if you look at the image, you can actually see multiple colors in there. Different things are different colors, and I don't think that's just a play of the light here with how the colors are on this image. Now, I don't know really if that's normally how these look, and you just normally can't tell because of the ink over the top, but I found that to be quite interesting that there's some color to this holofoil pattern. So I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited for this holofoil pattern. I think it looks great. On May 16th, they announced that LGS Kits were going to be available for pre-order on Friday the 20th, which are actually now live if you are interested in that, if you're in LGS. And these sets include 2 Cryptid Nation base set booster boxes, 2 Wilderness booster boxes, a Cryptid Nation base set theme deck bundle, a Wilderness theme deck bundle and display, 10 Cryptid Nation base set release decks, and 10 Wilderness release decks, and everything Cryptid Nation there is 2nd edition. And for the LGS exclusives, there will be 10 playmats, 6 exclusive window clings, 3 different designs, 1 exclusive stand, 1 design, 25 exclusive stickers of 1 design, and 25 exclusive promo cards, and these will be gold stamped as an LGS exclusive. And for the images that we've seen so far, we know that 2 of the stands are one of Akanto Falls with the Golden Bear and Golden Hand Girl and Snipe. It's a yellow stand. And they've given us a tease of another one during a lightning storm that has the Flying Manta Ray, Quetzalcoatlus, Meshipeshu, and Loveland Frogman. They've also given us a few spoilers on the stickers. It looks like there's going to be a Jack Frost sticker, a Cumberland Dragon and Chibi Dragon sticker, a Wendigo sticker, which honestly is my favorite out of all of these, and the Exploding Rabbit sticker. For the promos we know about, we have Cumberland Spaceman, done by Poncho, and this is interesting because in the bottom corner you can see the LGS stamp there, as well as it being considered first edition. And we get a new design of Mishipeshu, illustrated by Sayabon Daily. Again, has that LGS logo in the bottom, as well as being considered first edition. And for the LGS exclusive playmat, we have a playmat with Cumberland Spaceman, lizard people, and a gray alien pointing up at a UFO that's abducting one of the lizard people. And it's actually kind of interesting here because I would think that the gray man would be the one flying the UFO, but it seems to be that he's actually working with these other two to be like, hey, look at that guy. He's taking your friend. Let's get him. To participate, you need to be an LGS signed up on the MetaZoo Play Network, and you need to buy one of these kits, and that'll put you in the running to get UFO allocation from a distributor. That doesn't guarantee you UFO allocation, mind you. It just means that you're on a pre-approved list for the distributor to work with. These pre-orders will be open until next Friday, May 27th, so be sure to get that if you're considering getting one of these kits. And something interesting here on the website is that MetaZoo is saying a LGS kit will be done for each set, and LGSs that continue to purchase the kits will be eligible for further discounts as well as partnership programs with MetaZoo directly. So these LGS kits are basically part of a loyalty program with MetaZoo for LGSs to work with them. And they also go on to note that while this is made primarily for brick and mortar, if you believe you're an online store that goes above and beyond for the MetaZoo community, we might accept your application. So please understand that this will only be done for exceptional cases. And I know that's a concern for a lot of online stores. It's that their future is somewhat uncertain with how MetaZoo's rolling out their product. So what constitutes going above and beyond for the community? And I look at an online store like Immortal Workshop and I see the commitment that they have to the community in the way that they've worked with me on this channel and in the way that they've worked with Caster's Corner to help them with what they need for Dallas-Fort Worth. Immortal Workshop stands out in my mind as somebody that I see going above and beyond for the community and somebody that I see very community driven. So I really am curious what it means to go above and beyond for the community in terms of what MetaZoo thinks and how we as a community can then voice our opinions to put our favorite online stores forward for an LGS kit. Now, any LGSs out there that are already eligible and are getting these, be careful. Do not sell the promos, the playmats, anything online. If that happens and you get caught, you will be banned. Also on May 16th, they announced that the Wilderness Binders made it to the warehouse. And what's interesting here is that they were on the website not long after with no announcement whatsoever. So it was really a surprise to me when I was just kind of going through Facebook and somebody had announced that they bought one on the website. Now the Wilderness Binder is only $30, and I say only because when we look at the Cryptid Nation ones, those were at $60. And you can get the Nightfall one on sale right now for $40. So this is actually the cheapest of the binders that they've put out, which is interesting. And on top of that, you need to buy a binder if you want to get the Wilderness Release Event Medal that they announced last week. So if you're interested in that Release Event Medal or that binder, go to the MetaZoo Marketplace and buy that. For me, it was about $38 shipped, but I consider that to be worth it considering that it's the Wilderness binder and you get the promo card with it. On May 17th, we got a fun little tease of UFO Eats. So we have an alien in a UFO in a suburban area delivering food, and if he doesn't deliver it in 30 light years or less, it's free. Not long after that, we got a look at our first Pseudo Environment for the Caster's Cup. And it looks like maybe a swamp boathouse. And what they're doing with these Pseudo Environments is during the Blitz tournament on the second day of the Caster's Cup, they're going to have a number of these props set up, and they're going to affect the Terras that are active during your play. So for example, with this one, I would expect something along the lines of maybe swamp and nighttime to be active during play for this Pseudo Environment. And shortly after that, we got a look at what the Quetzalcoatlus reprint is for. So we can see a yellow jersey with the Quetzalcoatlus promo attached to it. And this was the first confirmation that the 5 cards that were teased last week, the Loveland Frogman, Quetzalcoatlus, Nappa Rebobs, Chippy Mothman, and Gumbaroo, are related to new jerseys that are going to be sold at Dallas-Fort Worth. On May 18th, we got a look at some very interesting art. It depicts what I imagine is a ghoulish hand picking up a radioactive waste bucket that's leaking. Now there's some interesting things here. It seems like this is still somewhat of a work in progress. You can see the pencil marks for the bone structure, and it seems like there's a penciled in box around the radioactive waste. And similarly, on the 19th, we got another one that's in the same art style, and this is what looks like a hand within a severed hand holding another severed hand. And I think this also relates to the Mothman sketch that we saw last week. Now the question is, what could this mean? And when I look at the art style, it honestly reminds me a lot of some of the Steve Aoki art that's on the singles that he released recently. So my guess is that these are going to be related to this Steve Aoki mini set that has been announced. We also got to look at the next Walmart promo box. It's going to be very similar to the last one. It's going to be a cardboard hanger with 3 packs in it. This one comes with the new Dragon of Akanto Falls promo that we got a preview of a few weeks back. And there's a couple things to note here. One of them is that it's first edition. And yes, big box stores are not supposed to get first edition anymore. There was talk of they were only going to get second edition, then that switched to, well, no, they're going to get their own stamped cards. So you're eventually going to see Walmart stamped cards and Target stamped cards. But before we knock MetaZoo for that, let's just kind of take a step back and realize that things are in production while these decisions are being made, while things are shifting. So it's just like the reserve list cards where the revived boxes that are coming out have brand new versions of cards coming out that are on the reserve list. But that's because those were already in production when those decisions were made, and that's what we have here as well. These wilderness boxes were already in production when those decisions to do branded cards were made. And then the other thing to note is that Mike had actually confirmed that you can get golden tickets, that you can get Green Man from these boxes as well, because they're being pulled from the same print run, the same allocation that Wilderness went out with. Just like the CN2 hangers, and that's why you could find blue ink in the Walmart hangers. On May 19th, we got to look at the top of the Target hangers, and this is interesting. It's actually going to be a long, flat hanger, so it'll be more like a blister pack, and it has 3 packs in it. Again, here, I imagine that you can get tickets and Green Man out of it because it would be pulled from that Wilderness allocation. And you can see the top of the Smokey Bear promo on the side over there, and there's some interesting things to note. Well, the first thing is, it's a neutral card. When I think Smokey Bear, I think forest. I think of, him protecting the forest against forest fires. And he's a bear, and you know what bears do in the woods. And then the other thing that I found interesting here is it's actually not a beastie, it's a spell. So Smokey Bear can be played in any deck, and it's really up in the air what his abilities are going to be. How useful is that going to be for every deck? And will it be a playable card? So I don't know about you, but that was a huge surprise for me, Smokey Bear being a spell and neutral. On May 19th, we got a look at a new image that said Nightfall meets Wilderness meets UFO. And for the Nightfall reference, we have Headless Horseman. For the Wilderness reference, we have Awful. And for UFO, what I thought to be the Lake Chilean monster when I saw it originally must be something that's actually UFO based. And given the sheer size and the design of the creature, my guess is probably either something along the lines of a Leviathan or the World Eater. So if you know what this dragon beastie is, please let me know in the comments below. And this is the second week in a row that we didn't have a MetaZoo hour, which is fine, it's understandable, it's just really interesting. I don't think I've ever seen them go this long between. But it makes sense with how busy they are right now. They're getting ready for the Caster's Cup. They have UFO at the printers and things going on with that. Revive is shipping out. And then a week after Dallas-Fort Worth is the Charlotte Collecticons. So we're moving quickly between these different events right now. So hopefully we'll have another MetaZoo hour soon. And for those of you who might have questions about the Caster's Cup that you'd bring up during the MetaZoo hour, they are doing a bunch of Twitch streams or various ways to contact MetaZoo to get your questions answered for the Caster's Cup. So keep an eye out for Twitch streams for that. They do those, it looks like basically every other day right now. And I've mentioned it in a few of my other videos. There's 2 rooms in the MetaZoo Discord. There's the event questions and the format questions. So if you have any questions, you can go there, you can post them. You might not get an immediate response, but it will get answered. So please let me know in the comment below what you think the most interesting piece of news was this week. And if you wanted to watch the video on the fan art contest details, you can catch that right there. Or last week's update was actually really interesting if you missed that one. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.